You're listening to Talkline with Zev Brenner, America's premier Jewish broadcast on the air since 1981.
And now, here's your host.
Welcome back to the program. Mom, Zev Brenner. Kosher restaurants have gone through an explosion. They've really become mainstream, become so elegant, so delicious. And one of the top restaurants in New York City is Thalia's restaurant located in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I remember when they first began 20 years ago by Effie Nagar, and his son Daniel Nagar joined us. He's a co-owner or manager of Thalia's, and they're going through some amazing things, and they're expanding their culinary heritage. So good to have you on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Zev. Excited to be with you.
By the way, I have to say, we were at Thalia's a couple of weeks ago. The food was outstanding, delicious. So kudos that you were able to keep up the quality and keep up the pace, all these years. So kudos to you and the staff.
Yeah, appreciate it. It was fun. I met your daughter for the first time, second date, Shadchan, and she actually came through to the pop-up dinner that we had. Was able to taste some of the Nepalese food, so that was really awesome.
So that brings me to we say you're a traditional restaurant. You have a lot of Middle Eastern dishes and delicious steaks, but yet you're doing something unique because you want to open the palates of the Glatt Kosher consumer to not just the standard, but you're opening up by doing these pop-up dinners with all different kinds of cuisines. So tell us about that.
Right. Yeah. So obviously, everyone knows one of the big kind of difficulties in terms of keeping kosher. You miss out on so many different types of food that the ingredients themselves are kosher, but there's just not a lot of kosher. There's not any kosher restaurants, or if there are, there's maybe one or two throughout the the entire country. So for example, we did an Indian night, and people were really, really excited about Indian cuisine. We've done Thai food, we've done Mexican and Persian. So right now we're doing Nepalese. That's going to be tonight and tomorrow night, and we've done it all this week and this past week. And yeah, the general idea is just giving people exposure to cuisines that they wouldn't have otherwise had an opportunity to, because the ingredients are still kosher, so we still have that opportunity.
What's been the reaction to different cuisines?
People so far, especially the ones that it was their first time tasting, they've been loving it. So I think especially Indian food, people really, really love Indian cuisine, and especially now we see Nepalese cuisine, and that's also Himalayan, which is very, very similar to Indian food, kind of a combination of similar to Indian and Chinese food, because that's the borders of the country of Nepal. So people really, really loved those ones. The Mexican one was a hit, the Thai one. But I think people are most excited about what's going to be coming next. So,
what's coming next? You're going to have Bukharian, Russian.
So thankfully, we have a lot of really, great spots that specialize in Bukharian, like I think like Gane Orly, and we have a lot of really awesome spots that are kosher and in Queens. So for now, the focus is more, what isn't available. So, for example, I'm really, really hoping to do Jamaican, speaking to some chefs already, and Korean. We've talked to some really awesome chefs. And I think the really cool thing about this pop-up series is that we're not only doing it, special cuisines, but the chefs that we're bringing along, they have a really, really, really great background. And these are really talented chefs that, since it's only a 3-4 day event, we're able to really attract people that would otherwise, be busy with amazing full-time jobs. So we have some of the best talent, access to some of the best talent.
So how does it work? Because I assume these chefs, whether it's Korean or Vietnamese, whatever chefs you bring in, don't really know kosher. So is it a challenge to get them to cook kosher?
They're all very excited about, the idea of cooking kosher for the first time. It is very, very challenging in terms of, we speak to the chef. We want to make sure that we cook their specialty items. So we basically start the conversation of asking what they specialize in, and then whatever is, actually has kosher ingredients and doesn't mix, milk and meat, we go from there. And then at that point, we start searching for some of the specialty products that, you would have to have Glatt Kosher, very good supervision on the products. And then we're constantly talking to Rabbi Mermelstein, who's the head of our Hashgacha, kind of have him on speed dial, and he's really just like a big scholar when it comes to kosher food, and has been a huge resource in helping us kind of make sure that all of our ingredients are kosher. So able to do it because of him.
Now, how does it work when you have a dish that requires meat and milk? You substitute the dairy, I assume. Have you tried the fake meats? Have you experimented with that? What's happening with those foods?
So right now we only did one. We kind of try to avoid doing dishes where you have to do a lot of substitutions and a lot of working with fake meats and stuff like that, because there are all these cuisines. They really have a lot of different choices that all the ingredients are kosher. So we speak to the chef and we can find different curries and different noodle dishes that are more chicken or more beef oriented or lamb oriented. The one we did chicken tikka masala, and that is a little bit more. That's kind of another name for that is butter chicken. So that one we were able to use some dairy replacements and coconut milk and whatnot.
All right. Now, to top this off, if you didn't have these pop-up restaurants, which is challenging, you got to train the chefs in different cuisines. I understand that you're also making part of the restaurant to be a late night and all-day shawarma restaurant too, right?
Yeah. So we definitely have a lot going on, but the only reason we're able to be so ambitious is because it's an amazing team that we have. It's my brother Adam, who's one of our chefs, kind of making sure all the chefs are on top of things, and my father Effie, who kind of is the core of the restaurant and is make sure everything runs operationally, and it really assists teaching us everything. So we're excited for the shawarma that we're gonna have open, and the idea is hopefully definitely on Saturday nights, since Thalia's is already open until about 3-4 in the morning on every Saturday night. We'll have the shawarma place open late night as well. And late during the week.
Does that mean till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I guess until the people stop coming, that's usually when we shut the gates. That's
well, I find I was once in retail, and I can tell you that when you're about to shut the gates, everybody wants to start coming in.
Yeah, I guess until we're able to. But yeah, for now, definitely on Saturday nights we'll continue to do 3-4 in the morning, and hopefully during the week try to be late night. So. But the idea is it's going to be very, very simple. We want to have a nice and small menu, keep it kind of like the style in Israel. So, so I think we're very, very excited. It's kind of a big dream for all of us.
Terrific. Continued success. How often are you going to be doing the pop-up restaurants?
So the idea is to have, it takes a really long time to find the chef and then to work to make sure the menu is all set and everything's kosher, all the ingredients. The idea is to keep them coming every like probably twice a month. So to have them 1 or 2 weeks a month, and to keep on rotating the different cuisines, and also bringing back some of the chefs that people really want, because we already have a big demand from people who want to taste the same items or similar, like an adjusted menu from the same chef. So it's going to be something that's continuous. Definitely recommend people check out our Instagram. Thalia's Steakhouse, or Pops Up NYC. That's where we post about all of our different events. And if you're interested, you can reach out to us. We'll add you to the email list.
Sounds terrific. Now, final question: with the 9 days coming up in the not too distant future, where traditionally you don't serve regular meat dishes, so are you going to have a pop up with some popular dishes that don't have to be necessarily meat dishes, but will be popular ones that will draw a crowd in during the 9 days?
Yeah, that's definitely a big goal. I think it's even bigger, like a larger challenge than our usual kind of trying to find even just a chef in a cuisine, but definitely something we're working on. So something maybe a little more fish focused or vegetarian focused, and I think we could still put together a really exciting menu. It doesn't necessarily always have to be beef and chicken and lamb.
Right. There you can experiment with some other stuff, and maybe whether it's Indian or other cuisine that
Right.
might be popular that you can utilize during the 9 days. Because I know meat restaurants always have a challenge getting people to come in during the 9 days, because if it's serving fish, people go to a fish restaurant, they'll decide why should I go to a meat restaurant. But if you have something unique and exotic, then I think that may be a big draw. So I'm sure you're cooking up those ideas right now.
Yeah, 100%. definitely,
give out,
definitely open.
let's give out the address of Thalia as well again, and where people can find out more information.
Yeah, so we're located on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's 668 Amsterdam Avenue between 92nd and 93rd Street. And our website, thaliasteakhouse.com. You can email us at info@thaliasteakhouse.com. And I definitely recommend following us on Facebook or Instagram, Thalia Steakhouse account or the Pops Up NYC. And that's where we're posting all about the different pop-ups and the different special chefs that we're having. And, these chefs, the chef we have now, she's been featured in the New York Times, and she's the first chef to ever cook at the James Beard Foundation, the James Beard House. And that's kind of like, the Oscars for chefs, that organization. So we're really, really excited, with all the chefs that we have and that we're going to continue to be having. So definitely check us out.
Terrific. I totally support. I love what Thalia's has been doing with the regular foods and with the specialty foods. Keep it up. And I'm waiting for the shawarma place. So if you're looking you can go to the same restaurant and try different cuisines, which makes it very interesting. Gives people a choice in the same location. So I want to thank you, Daniel Nagar, for joining us as a co-owner and manager of Thalia's. As you heard, there are many different divisions and lots of pop-up restaurants and shawarma place coming up soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Zev. I appreciate it. All the best.
Thanks for listening.
For continuous Jewish programs, TalklineNetwork.com, or our 24-hour-a-day listen line at 641-741-0389. For past shows, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, and all major podcast platforms, or jewishpodcast.org. Thanks for listening to the TalklineNetwork.com.